So hello everyone and welcome back to Deercast. You're joining us out doing some roebuck reconnaissance, something a bit different to fallow, and we thought we'd try something a little bit different with one of our videos as well. So we're actually going to do a kind of on the fly review of the Gen 2 Harkila Bino harness. So Gen 1 came out in 2022, and probably fair to say it was Harkila's first sort of go at a proper bino harness. They had a sort of bino strap before, and whilst it was a really good start, there were a couple of bits that definitely needed some improving. So they brought out Gen 2 2025, so 3 years later, and let's get into it and talk about some of the good bits and then some of the also might do better bits. So just like that, we've managed to find ourselves a convenient little bench to sit down on, and hopefully means we won't be too out of breath for this video. So before we get onto the good and bad, let's just really quickly touch on the price. So buying this harness on its own, £150, you then have the utility pouch and the sort of thermal accessory pouch, and they're £45 and £50 on top of the £150 that you've paid for this. So all in, you're looking around the sort of £200, £250, depending on whether you go for each of the accessory pouches. Now, for any of you that were familiar with the old design had molly webbing on the sides here, and you attached any accessories and pouches onto the side here. The great thing about this new version is that on the sort of wings of the strap, so in here, that's where the molly attachments are now, and that's where you attach each of your accessory pouches to. And what it means is just the whole thing feels much flatter to your chest. It's just much more compact and much more streamlined. The actual material itself is exactly the same as the old design, but a massive improvement is on the old one. The liner on the inside was a almost a sort of waterproof membrane, and I found no matter what I did, I couldn't get that not to squeak, especially if stuff was a little bit damp. So every time I was putting binoculars in and out, it would start squeaking. On this new design, it's not quite the same waterproof membrane, it's not quite the materials on the outside, but it definitely doesn't squeak. General design and build quality is significantly better than the previous version. Everything just feels very robust, well made. Stitching is all really good. The materials used are very high quality. There's a good level of waterproofness on the unit. These pouches I've literally submerged in water and they're still absolutely dry inside. I'm very impressed with it. The general strap here, and we'll include some cutaway pictures of this, is much broader on the back than it has been before, so it supports the weight of the harness generally much better than the previous version did. In terms of the pouches themselves, this one is a sort of utility pouch. It's got a magnetic flip up cover here. There's Velcro underneath here, and you can position this bullet wallet either on the outside or on the inside. To get into the inside of it is a zipped compartment, and again the zips are sort of waterproof, so you can actually see inside here. The one on the other side is primarily, in my mind, designed for a thermal, and is an open topped. It has got a sort of pull string here to make sure that you can seal it up. Even better, it also has, once you've attached your thermal, a nice long sort of elasticated paracord to make sure that even if you drop this, it's never going to hit the floor and it's never going to go too far away. In terms of the actual size of the harness and the various pouches, so this is a Pulsar Axion 2, and it fits perfectly in the side pocket there. Anything taller than that is going to come out or sort of sit proud of that. The binoculars I have in here are a pair of Leica Geovid 10x42s. They're 17 centimeters tall, and I'd say that is the sort of maximum height that you're going to fit in here. If you have got a smaller pair of binoculars, this does come with some foam inserts to raise the height of it so that you're not having to reach too far inside to get these out. I'd say these at 17 centimeters are absolutely perfect for the size of this harness. Now, if you want to wear this harness just as a strap, you can do so. You can remove this front pouch, and the binoculars will essentially sit hanging on these straps, or sort of retaining cords that they hang on anyway. So if you imagine you've got the binoculars out, they're on these cords. If you let go of them, they're not going anywhere. And what you can do is essentially detach this main pouch here. So if you're stalking in summer and there's no risk of these getting wet or damaged or anything like that, you can remove this bit and then they will just sit on the front of your chest like that if you're not one for a big bino harness. On the side of the bino harness itself, both sides, you have these little pockets here, which I tend to use to hold a lens cleaning cloth, and then you do also have on the front side of it a zipped sort of document pouch here, which I have used for maps and bits and pieces in the past myself. Now, in terms of negatives, and there are one or two negatives because nothing in this world is perfect, and the first one, which will probably bother people more north of the border, because I think you do a lot more crawling than I potentially do, and there's two bits that I've noticed when I am crawling wearing this that kind of get in the way or cause a problem. The first one is these retaining straps here. Now, because they aren't folded over and so sort of double sewn, if you're crawling along, and of course that's pushing pressure down on this, I have found that these, or they have done on one or two sides, just completely pull themselves loose, which is a bit of a problem. The other problem I found is that because these sides are open, and I've only found this when crawling, so in fairness, if you're not planning on doing much of this, then neither of these issues will be a problem, is that I have accumulated a lot of crap inside, and that is the same on this side as well. Probably linked to that point in terms of accumulating crap. As you can probably see, the material that this is made out of, which is brilliant because it is absolutely silent and waterproof, is that it does seem to accumulate rubbish. So, prime example here. So there you have it, full in-depth 6 months in review of the Gen 2 Harkila bino harness. Now, the question you're probably all asking is, should you go out and buy one? The honest answer is yes. I think it's great. I think they have made enormous leaps forwards from the first version. I think the modularity of this is great. The fact you can choose whether you put either or both of the Harkila accessory pouches on, or because of the Molly system, actually whether you go for non-Harkila pouches on either side, which side you have them on, etc. It is all absolutely great. The build quality is fantastic. You get a decent warranty from Harkila with them. The only thing I can see potentially being an issue is if either your binoculars or your thermal are too big. Because this is a one-size-fits-all unit, you can't get a small, medium or large, depending on if you've got submarine commander binoculars or even the tiny little pocket-sized ones, or whether you just have a much longer thermal than what this has been built for. Compared to the other bits and pieces out there on the market, I really like this because it's not got a sort of tactical look to it. You don't look like you're about to invade Iraq or Afghanistan wearing it. I really like the colours. The materials and everything that I've used have been absolutely fantastic so far. So yes, I would definitely go out and buy one if I didn't already have one. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. You'll have to let us know whether you approve of this new format of reviews. They're sort of out on the fly. And as per usual, please remember to comment, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.